Hi there, Steph. Steph made it for you. So today I'm in a different setting, different room. You're visiting the house with me. I did something last night which I thought was quite fun. It was like a heart shape with people's name in it and with a bit of flourish. And I thought, oh, that's quite cool. I'd like to do a video about that. So I'm gonna try to record that if my computer allows it, because last night when I tried to record, it was really slow while I was doing it. I'm gonna go into Krita and I got a brand new page. So what I did yesterday, book interiors. So basically I've made a hand lettering practice notebook. So like a small and a big one actually, for people who want to practice hand lettering by hand. But I've also done the interior on Word and then I saved it as a PDF. So anyway, long story short, I can put it in the background of my practice. So I'm zooming in quite a lot because it's quite small. And yesterday I found that 240%, 280% was best. However, I'm on a different computer screen and I feel like it looks different. So we're gonna give it a go here. So you probably will have like a thumbnail with the photo of what the finished product will be. I'm not quite sure where I'm going at that point. What I know is that it's going to take quite a long time because I'm first going to do the main drawing in Krita, and then I'm going to take it to Inkscape and then resize it and edit it. And clean up the corners and all of that. So that's probably going to be, I think yesterday it took me about 2 hours. I was watching something on my phone at the same time, but it took about 2 hours. So I think I will speed up the process quite a lot and put some background music so you can see it as it happens. But you don't need to know all the stages. I will try to tell you things that I think are relevant or important, but if you have any questions, just put them in the comment section because I might not think of everything. So I will probably be talking for a while, but yeah, I will try to speed it up as well so it doesn't take forever. So here I'm in Krita, so I opened my new page, I inserted my background. So you can create your own practice document in Word by using the space before line and the space after line, and you can change the space before and the space after. And then you can use tabs to make straight lines, or you can use tabs to do dotted lines, or you can use tabs to do dashed lines. So you can do that on your own and not have to pay for anything. So that's quite a cool thing to do. And then you can save it as a Word document, but you can also save it as a PDF. I would always save as a Word document, then you can get back to it if you need to. And then save it as a PDF, and then you can insert it in Krita as a layer. And it's, it's easy peasy and it's free. So it's all about the frugal living. If you've seen my other frugal living video, must be out by now. You'll know that I've been looking into the frugal living. Anyway, so I got my brush here. That's the one I created ages ago, not the one that I showed you in the video. And I'm gonna change for 15 because it works. Actually, yesterday I realized 15 wasn't as good, and I went to 13. So let's try that. So I'm gonna do Steph and Chris, and then the heart shape. Here you go, my first mistake. That's your background. Don't forget to add a layer on top so you don't write on your background. And actually lock your background here on the little lock thingy. This way you know that you can't, if you're here and it's locked, then you see that symbol, the round circle with the line in the middle. You know you're on the wrong layer, so I'm going to be here. Alright, so that's not too bad. I always do it once and go over it at least once, if not 3 or 4 times, until I'm happy with the kind of proportion and the size and stuff like that. But if you're not happy with the proportion, so for example, if the first letter is a bit too small, then that's something you can correct when you go into Inkscape. So don't worry too much about it, it's fixable later on. What I wanted to add was, yeah, yesterday I did the same thing, but I was on 280%. Today I'm on 200%, so if you find that it's not working for whatever reason, just try to zoom in more or zoom out and try different things, because clearly if with the same, so I'm using a laptop and I'm projecting the screen onto a 32-inch screen, but not my normal screen. It's different, and I can't explain to you why, but all I can tell you is it's not because it works for me at 280 downstairs and 200% here that it will work the same for you. So try different options and see what works for you. What I normally try to do is to take a pause in between each letter, because if you get the letter wrong, you just press Ctrl Z and you can delete the last letter. Here I did 3 letters at once, so if I messed up on the R, which is often the case, I would have had to redo the whole thing. So if you can, or unless you're really confident, then go for it, but if you can, try to take a break between your letters. Alright, so I'm going to do my second layer. I'm going to take a different color because I like to pick different colors. There's also a thing as well. For example, the Steph here is kind of on the top part of the screen. And because of my tablet, I find it hard to write at the top of the tablet. And I don't know if it's because it's a small tablet. So I tend to move things around my screen quite a lot. So feel free to kind of take it down. If it feels more comfortable to your hand, then go for that. I do find, I mean, the tablet is obviously harder to tablet. I find yesterday, I think after about 2 hours, my finger were actually hurting. Well, mostly the last one, were actually hurting from all the rubbing against the tablet. So take a break if you need to as well. That's kind of my hints. So I'm gonna go with the second layer. Okay, second tip, zoom out. Zoom out and have a look from far away. That's something that my teacher told me in secondary school when I was like 13. It's true. Something will look cool up close, and you look at it from far away and you're like, oh, the proportion's not right. So always zoom out and have a look and see what it feels like. So here I'm gonna hide the second layer because I don't need it. And you see, I can see my E is not right here. But that's okay, that's something I can easily fix from Inkscape as well. So it's not like, you know, if it's not perfect, don't worry, you can fix it. You see that? It's much easier to fix it in Inkscape once you have the vectors than it is in Krita. So I want to do a heart shape. I did struggle with the heart yesterday. I struggled because one side was lovely and one side was much narrower. So I'm gonna add a layer. This way, if I mess it up, I can delete things. So here, I'm gonna do my heart. I'm not happy with the second half. Alright, that will do. I can fix it in Inkscape afterwards if I need to. I wish we could do a half and then copy and mirror it, but I've not found a way to do that yet. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go back to my layer 3, and I'm gonna zoom in a little bit because it's a bit far away. So you go back to your layer 3. So the heart is on layer 4, so that's fine. So I'm gonna take this dashed little shape. I'm gonna go around my name. And I'm gonna use that tool with the 4 arrows going different ways, and I'm gonna put my name here. And it's a bit tricky because of the height of the letter. Sorry. So you kind of have to find a good way to put your letters together. And maybe I should have moved the heart afterwards, but it doesn't matter. So that's not too bad. That will do. I like that. Hang on. Kind of wish I could bring it a little bit lower. Can I move the whole thing a bit higher? The reason I do that now and not in Inkscape is because in Inkscape there isn't that tool to cut a shape, but like a customized shape, if that makes sense. When I move things around in Inkscape, it tends to be have like a rectangle area. I hope that makes sense. Here it's a bit easier to move weird shapes. To be fair, the heart is on a different layer anyway. So I'm going to do an end, because I didn't do my end, I just realized. So I mentioned that in another video and I just did it. You see this dash line? You can only write in it. While that area is selected, you can only write in it, and no matter how many times I try to write outside, it just won't work. So do not forget to go back to your dash and just one quick click, and that's fine, and then you get back to what you were doing. Well, that worked out better than it did yesterday. So I'm going to select that one, and I'm going to make it a bit smaller. Sorry, so I used the dashed line tool, and then I'm using that tool. I don't know, what is it called? Is that a name? No, it's not showing me the name, sorry. But you can see it selected on the side. Yeah, so I'm shrinking my end because it's not as important as the names, and I'm selecting that 4 directional arrow, and I'm just gonna move it here, kind of like that. Is it too big? Is it too small? I'm not sure. Let me step away from it. Look at it from far away again. Who would have thought that an advice from someone 20 years ago would still be applicable? I think it's okay. Okay. So I've done that. And then I'm gonna go back to my paintbrush, and that was the fun bit. But I like that part, but you have to be careful to kind of leave an area around your names, because if you do the twirly bits too close to the name, it's kind of like, actually, you know what? Can I make my heart bigger? Because that would make life a lot easier. Here we go. I'll make my heart bigger. I'm using this one to move it around. Here you go. So I'd say, like, keep almost like an empty space around it. Not that big, but just enough that you can actually read the letter, because that's the purpose, isn't it? So I'm just going to go twirly, so I'm going to probably speed that up. Alright, so I'm happy with that. It doesn't look perfect, it's fine. The Inkscape is kind of where you get things perfecter. Okay, so at that point it's green. Inkscape does not seem to like color very much when you trace the bitmap to turn it into a vector shape. So what you have to do, and I hope you can see that side of my screen, so next to paint layers there's a little lock, and like then a weird, I don't think it's an A symbol, it must be a Greek letter, but I don't know what it's called. And then there's like a checkboard kind of thing. You click on that and it will put a lock, and it means that when you go and take a brush and select the black color, then you make your brush bigger. It will only color the shape, what you drew on that layer. So it's not coloring Steph and Chris because it's on another layer. So that's a really great tool if you do like a logo or something and you want to put different colors. I think it's really handy. So I'm gonna go and do the same on that one, because I want it all black for Inkscape. Okay. I forgot to save my document. Alright, I'm saving it here. Sorry. So I'm in Inkscape now. I go to File and I click on Import, and then I get my PNG document. So as you can see, a tiny black and white heart. Open it. Click OK. I always click OK. And here's my little heart at the bottom. So it's sometimes it's a bit hard to move it around. I don't know why. Or even select it. Sometimes it just, I don't know. I don't have an explanation for that. So do Control A, and then go to Object. No, it's Path. Sorry. Trace Bitmap, and then here you're gonna update. Your little image is gonna appear here, and you click Apply. And then you know that the one you want is this one because the empty space around it has disappeared. So that's the one I want. And for some reason, it's much easier to move around. And the other one, I don't need it anymore, so I can delete it. But here you go. Double click. No, one click. Look at that. Here you go. Delete it. Okay, so that's where the workaround. So to make it bigger, sorry, you go to that arrow, but you have to press Control on your keyboard if you want to keep the proportion. Otherwise, it will pull too much on the width or the height, but it won't stay proportionate. So you have to click both at the same time. So here you get it in the middle of your screen, in the middle of my screen. The next part of the work is a cleaning up work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a little bit. There's not too many letters, so that should be fairly straightforward. But there's all the twirls around, and that will take ages, so I will definitely speed that up. So I'm going to start with my name. And I do that regularly, so I know how I like my letters to be. So I think if you do that, you kind of get used, and you get used to it. You get your own style. So for example, me, I like sharp corners, so that corner doesn't work for me. And then I don't like useless nodes, so I just click on my screen, select it, drag it, and delete it. I should really mention it if you haven't seen my video before. I'm using a Wacom tablet. It's a small one. I paid about £50 for it, so it's an affordable tablet. Krita is an open source software, so it's free to use, though they do welcome donation, and Inkscape is free as well. So if you on the budget, it's quite a good way to do hand lettering. I've said that before, but I'm saying it again just in case you've not watched the other videos. I will put there's an affiliate link for the Wacom tablet because I was looking for it on Amazon and I bought it there. So I was looking for it, and I only found the medium, but the medium is £160, and for some reason I couldn't find a small one. But I did find it when I looked at my previous purchase, so I made an affiliate link. I don't think it costs anything to you if you buy it from the affiliate link, but it will just help me keep going. So feel free to use that. But it's an affordable way of doing it, I think. I know people have, I think it's Procreate on the iPad, but I think you need an iPad Pro. I don't have any more Apples and stuff, this kind of products, this brand of products, sorry, so I don't really know how much they cost, but I've used to have an iPad and they were pretty pricey, so I'm assuming that Procreate is on the professional and that it's not the most affordable way anyway. So I hope that's helpful, because I wouldn't have been able to do digital hand lettering if I didn't have this combination. I was thinking earlier, it feels like it's a lot of things, like, you know, you need to go in Krita and then you write your name and then you move to Inkscape and then you clean your edges. But it's one of these things that once you get going, it becomes obvious and you don't have to think about it anymore. So although it may feel to you like it seems a bit hard work, I've been doing it for months now and it's actually fine. And the more I use Krita and the more I use Inkscape and the more, you know, I find things that I didn't find before and stuff like that, so I find it a lot easier. But hopefully some of my hints are useful to you, because I've gone through some of the stages of struggling with some stuff, so hopefully what I'm sharing, I hope is useful to you. So I select the node and I delete it. So basically, I don't like having too many nodes in spaces, because then when you try to move one node, you then need to move all the nodes, and I don't want to do that. I want to try to have to move as little as possible to get the shape I want. You see this one, so I don't know what these little dudes are called, but there's the one that determine the kind of like the curve. You have to look out for them, because sometimes they will change the shape of your letter without you realizing it. So you see, for example, this one for me is not useful. So I just drag it to select and delete. And I don't really need that one. Ah, there was two, sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna pull that one a little bit. That one is slightly offset. Again, when I do SVGs that I sell on Etsy, I will go into a lot more trouble to make it clean. And by clean, I mean sharp edges, straight line, and all of that than I would do for something that I would do for myself. So that's something that I'm planning to turn into a Valentine's Day card, because I've not been very good with making cards recently, which is ironic because I was a card maker. And I thought it would be a nice Valentine card from my husband and I. That's kind of I did it for a friend, and then I thought, oh, I could do it for me. So here we go. The bar for the tea is a little bit off. Sometimes you have to double click to get rid of the notes, and then double click back on your, what do you call it, design. Yeah, and it doesn't have to be perfect. I think some people have their own style as well. You kind of develop your own style, and then people kind of know what your style is, and it's like, I tend to want to make everything perfect. I think there's now, I don't know, there's a perfect, wanting to make it look professional, when there's actually loads of people who sell product that work really well because it's their style and people like that style. So I think you just need to find kind of your crowd of people who like your style, and that's the kind of thing that they want to see or buy or whatever. And yeah, I mean, in France, for example, a lot of things are handmade. Where the area I'm from Provence, so it's southeast of France. Not near Nice, more inside the land. But it's called Provence. That's where the lavender is really popular and things like that. And a lot of products will be handmade. And I mean, now there's a lot of things that are factory made, but a lot of things are handmade, and people don't mind if it's not absolutely perfect. So maybe we need to get out of that. Everything needs to be perfect, like it's been made by a machine spirit. But I am guilty of that, and I'm struggling still. I'm still aiming for something as perfect as possible, and it's hard work because we're not machines. Hang on, I'm not happy with that one. Yeah. So I don't know. Are you a crafter? Where are you coming from? What led you to watch this video? You'd be interested to know. I'd be interested to know. Oh, no, not that one. I'd be interested to know what kind of. I'm gonna call it craft because even if it's digital art, for me it still falls into the crafting category. I'm a crafter. I've always been. Since I was young, I loved drawing, and I haven't drawn anything for years, and I don't think I wasn't amazing at it. I was okay with it, but I wasn't great. But that kind of, I think you have not an attraction to crafting, but we all have something we like. For me, it was crafting. Anyway, where do you come from? I'm rambling. What led you to watch this video? Are you interested in Krita? Are you interested in Inkscape? That'd be really useful to know for me to know, because then I can kind of think of videos that I think would be useful for people's viewers. I can't speak. Viewers' purpose. Why is it so hard to say? Anyway, so yeah. So I keep going, and as you can see, it's kind of like it's time consuming, but is it really time consuming? It's probably not very interesting to watch, because it's a very repetitive thing. But it's not actually as time consuming as you'd think, because you get used to it. I have one hand on the keyboard on the delete button, and I have one hand holding my digital pen or graphic tablet pen. So it's not actually that time consuming, and it's just, I don't know, I'm talking to you, so it feels like it's going quite quickly. I think from that point it's fairly straightforward. I'm gonna speed it up now, because if I keep talking I'm probably gonna become a bit boring and just talk absolute nonsense. So I will speed the process up from now, and then I will talk to you at the end. Alright, so I'm happy with that. I'm gonna take a break, have some lunch, and then I'll come back for the coloring slash arty part thing. See you in a bit. Alright, so I'm back in Krita. I've opened the new file, so it's blank page. And I'm gonna go to layer and import layer. Yeah. So I'm importing from Krita, from the SVG file that I saved in Inkscape. So I haven't saved it as a PNG. I am importing it, and then it's importing it like that. So I leave 600. I'm not 100% sure what 600 is, but it always seems to work about right. So I'll leave it as it is and shrink it. Okay. I'm gonna turn this layer. I'm gonna click right, and I'm gonna convert it into a paint because, okay, the reason I do that is that here you see like the checkboard thing, it's not there. So I'm gonna turn it, I'm gonna convert it into a paint layer. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a Krita expert, everything I'm telling you is what I've learned along the way. Oh, where is my thing gone? Ah, well, for some reason it went back to its original format. So let's do that again. Alright. Bit squished up here. So I'm gonna go zoom in. And what I think is really cool. So here, do you see that checkboard is there now? Although it still says vector layer, I converted it into a paint layer. So I'm gonna click on that. And then I got my paintbrush, that's fine. And I can pick colors. So I'm just gonna keep that open because I did that yesterday. I think it was pretty cool. You can do, I'm just gonna be a bit bigger. Oh, sorry. So you do red. Then you can do orange. And then you can do slightly less orange. Yellow. What's cool, I found a tool yesterday, but I can't remember which one it was, that was blending the colors together. That's the thing, there's so many brushes, you kind of have to go and try them all and see what they do. Alright, does that one blend? Yeah, a little bit. It gives a bit like, it's an arty effect. So if you start from the bottom, I think it was dragging the color upward. It's not the most obvious effect. It works well on the yellow. I don't know if you can see the yellow. The yellow is quite cool. But yeah, it's not working so well. There's other brushes you can try. That one is quite fun. If I remember well. I haven't played with these for quite a while. That one, oh sorry, there's a delay. That's why it's taking so long. Because I'm recording as well. I'm doing it. To be fair, it's slow. Sorry, you hear? It's slow anyway. But because I'm recording as well, I think it's even slower. Can you see it up here? It's quite cool actually. It's almost on purpose, but it's not. It's quite nice. It blends the color. I like the arty effect. That's what's really good with Krita because it's made for digital artistry. Is that, yeah, that's how you say it, I think. You have loads of different brushes and they're really cool. Like you can do loads of different stuff. I did a lot of backgrounds for my notebooks a few months ago, so I did play with the brushes a lot. But I think when you stop playing with them, you kind of forget what's out there. It's still going. Look at that, it's still going. I clearly missed that side. I didn't do anything there. I'm gonna go back and finish it off. Just do that properly. It was this one. There you go. And I think if you start from the bottom, you're bringing the color. Yeah, I think so. But you can do it that way as well. A bit in the middle with blending. It's nothing quite like blending. It's always nice, huh? Okay, so that's one of the things you can do if you use that checkboard thing on the side. I'm gonna let that go. Keep going. So what you can do as well, if you want, you can actually play with the background. Okay, that's backfiring. It's not amazing, but it gives you an idea of what you can do. And what's really cool, okay, look at that. So you get your layer here, and I'm gonna copy my layer. Sorry, I did a layer instead of copying one. You copy the layer. So you have to kind of wait for these actions to be complete. Okay. So I have a layer here. I'm gonna copy it, and I'm gonna hide that one just for a second. So I'm working in this on this layer, the copy of my layer, and I'm gonna do it dark red. Oh, sorry, wrong brush. Okay, that's my brush. Okay, so red bottom, sorry. Checkboard. Right, so it's just coloring my SVG. Okay, so if I do that, and so I'm still on my copy layer, and I go to filter and blur and Gaussian blur, and you can do something really cool. I'll show you. So it's gonna blur your image. And you're gonna think, why? I'll show you. And then that one comes back. You have to put it on top, so you have to bring it up to the top. So the copy layer is on top. I want the vector, the normal layer, to go up. And then I know you might not see it very well, but it's definitely there. It will give you that kind of depth and ombre look that looks really cool. I mean, there's absolutely tons of things you can do. That's just giving you a quick example. I do something else. But so now I've done that. I'm not going to save it because I'm not going to use that one. But I wanted to show you what I'm going to do in Cricut, so I'll be back in a second. Alright, so I realized that if I cut it as if I use it for digital art, is great. But if I want to cut it out of cardstock, the way I want it to, so as the white being the empty space and the black being the line that I wanted to keep, then the word Steph and Chris wouldn't fall off. So I'm gonna do a save, because I like it like that as well for digital art. So I'm gonna save it and do a V2 version, and I'm gonna attach the words so that they don't fall off. So it's gonna take a little bit of time, so I'll probably do a speed up on that as well, so you can just see how I do it without having to spend hours watching it. Alright, I think I'm happy with that. So I'm going to save that, and then I'm going to open it in Cricut. Alright, so it knows it's an SVG, it recognizes it, I'm going to upload it, and I will add it to my canvas. So it's, so I'm using about 30 centimeters wide pages of cardstock. However, my Cricut Maker will only cut to maximum of 29 in width and in height. So I'm going to do 29, well it's 29.2 to be accurate. I'm going to do 29 in width and then 14.5 in height. And I'm also going to put a score line on it so that I don't have to do it after. So here's my score line, what is it? It's here. So I need to find a middle for that, so I'm gonna start on 10 because it's a bit easier for me. And then, what did I say? 29, so 14.5, 29, 22, 23, 24, 24 and a half. Here, that's about right, I hope so. And then, yeah, just a bit more centered. It's not having it, hang on, what does it say? Oh, here we go, let's look at the position. So 24.5, and what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna attach them yet, because if I attach them, then when I try to slice it will look funny. So I'm gonna take that image and I'm gonna make it smaller because look, it's too big. So I'm gonna first, I'm gonna move my cutting image here to the top so it comes, I can see it better. And it's locked, but I'm gonna change the dimension to 13. Does that work, 13? What do you think? I think it looks okay. Yeah, fine. And there's one thing I wanted to do as well. I wanted to take another square. I'm coming up with things as I'm doing it. That's how I get inspired. I just want to do a square. A square that's a bit smaller than my heart. Yeah. About centered. Okay, so I'm gonna slice my square out of my card base. So that long rectangular shape is my card base. That's my square, and I'm gonna slice it out. Here we go. Not the other way around, sorry. Okay, so that's my card base, and I'm gonna weld my image to my card base. So here, weld. And let's just hope it's not gonna get rid of any spaces. No, it's fine. What I did last time, I did something for a friend, and I did an image, and then I put four together, and I attached them. And he got rid of all the empty spaces. For example, here, the space in the C would have gone, the space in the R would have gone, the space in the S, and then I had to go and manually cut them, which doesn't look professional, so I wasn't too happy with that. So here we got the score line. I'm just going to move it to the top, it doesn't really matter. And yeah, I'm moving it to the top, and then I'm going to group these two. And I will have to go downstairs because my Cricut maker is downstairs, and I have to cut it. And that's it, really. The only thing I would say is this shape is quite intricate. So what you could do, if you want to, before welding these images, you can go to that image, and I do that quite a lot because I do a lot of intricate shape. You go to offset, and I'm adding I'm gonna add 0.03. And it glitches quite a lot, that function. I don't know why, so sometimes it takes ages to come up. I think it's just a processing time in the background. Again, it could be my computer. The more I say that, the more I think it's my computer. But I use my computer to do work stuff, and I have no problem. But as soon as I do like graphic Excel, Word, no problem. As soon as I do graphic things, it slows down. So let's press enter. Is it gonna? It's thinking. Yeah, here we go. You see that? I don't know if you see that blue outline. So I'm gonna click apply, and it's just gonna give me that a little bit extra. But I don't know if you see, it's getting rid of my spaces here. I can tell. Let's hide that one. Yeah, I lost the space here, but they were very small spaces to start with. So I think it's just an acceptable amount of loss that I'm ready to accept. It's not the end of the world. Oh, I'm running out of battery. Okay, so here's my shape. I'm gonna move my score line up to the top, and I'm gonna attach my score line to my cards, and I will group them. I'm gonna save my work before my computer turns off. Chris and Steph, Valentines Day card, and oh, small capital, doesn't matter. And I will cut it, and I will try to put a photo at the end of the video, probably on the thumbnail, so you can kind of see what it looked like. So I hope you found the video interesting. I know it's really long video. I'm gonna shrink it as much as I can. If you have, stay till the end, thank you. If you have any question, let me know. And if you just fell upon that video because you put Krita or Inkscape or Cricut in the search thing, can you please let me know, because I'd like to know what people are interested in so I can make some content that's useful to you. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you did. Feel free to share, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!